Hello, I'm Ashley Warner, the Director of Education and Community Engagement at Performing Arts Houston. Welcome to our Creative Chat series. These are conversations between artists that offer you an inside peek at the artistic vision and creative process of the artists presented by Performing Arts Houston. They are meant to connect you with the artist and fellow art lovers. Today's chat will spotlight percussionist, composer, and educator Marlon Simon, a 24-25 season New Now awardee. He will be chatting with former New Now awardee Sonny Mehta, artistic director of Riaz Kowali. New Now is our Houston Artist Commissioning Project, an initiative launched in 2020 to promote Houston artists by supporting the creation of new work across all performing arts disciplines. On March 6th and 7th in the Wortham Center's Cullen Theater, Performing Arts Houston will present Marlon's world premiere of On Different Paths, a music commission fusing classical, Afro-Caribbean, and jazz music, a blending of genres to represent the harmony our world needs right now. Tickets are on sale now and feature a pick your price payment structure. This means that when you purchase your ticket, you decide what you want to pay. If you want to pay $50 for your ticket, we are thankful for your purchase. If you want to pay $0 for your ticket, we are just as thankful for your purchase. With the aim of removing financial barriers, New Now's Pick Your Price payment structure encourages all those who support Houston art to come to the show and celebrate the talent of these brilliant artists. After the chat, head to the Performing Arts Houston website to reserve your tickets.
Hi, Marlon. Thanks so much for being here. Really excited to speak with you. How are you doing? Let's start with the basic.
Well, very good. It's a pleasure to be in touch with you now. Looking forward to interchange some ideas since you went through all this experience
Yeah,
before, and it's the one that I want to do in March.
yeah. Well, congratulations, first of all.
Thank you.
It's from somebody who did it a little while ago. It's such a beautiful experience. So I'm excited about the journey that you'll be on, and I'm sure it'll be a beautiful piece. I'm looking forward to enjoying what you create in March, and hopefully our audiences will get a better understanding of you throughout our conversation today. I'd love to talk about you first, and then get to the music, what we'll hear in March. So tell me a little bit about you, and your love for music and creating music and performing music. Let's start with that.
Well, I come from a very small town in Venezuela,
Okay.
west of Venezuela, State Falcon is the name of the state. And that's where I grew up. I grew up there. My father was employed by the company of Shell, which is an oil company, started in the oil work in Venezuela. But this was a very small town. I mean, we didn't have a music school. Let's start with that. So everything started through a contact with my father, who was a guitar player and singer. And
Okay.
he used to sing ballads, Mexican boleros, like what we call Latin boleros, which are Latin ballads. And he played the guitar. He was self-taught. So I grew up listening to him a lot. And at one point, he noticed that I was playing on the tables,
Yeah.
and I was able to keep the rhythm. And then he bought me a set of bongos, which are two little drums.
Uh-huh.
And then and he was so proud of it, because I was like 10 or 12 years
Yeah.
old at that time. And then every time we had a visit in the house, he will contact with music was actually to my father, Hatsi Simon, who was a self-taught, very much into music, philosophy, psychology, and he actually wrote a book before he passed about consciousness. So my beginning was self-taught, and because of the geographical location of Venezuela, we had information coming from the whole Caribbean islands,
Okay.
which Trinidad, Puerto Rico, Curacao, Cuba. We had information from the South, which is Brazil brought
Yeah.
African people to Venezuela. So it's a blend of a lot of different rhythms that I grew up listening to.
Yeah.
Dance bands, we play dance music, dance Latin music. And
Yeah.
I was playing the timbales at that time. I play on salsa bands. So music, I would say music chose me. I wouldn't say that I
Mm.
chose music. I think music shows me, and since then, it's been my main passion. Music has been with me in the most times of happiness and most times of pain. It has
Mm.
been there for me without any conditions. So sometimes I think that I owe a lot to the music, from my side. So that was my first contact. And later on, I saw a video of jazz music and I became very interested on that, mainly because I didn't understand what was going on. That
Mm.
it was a video of Chick Corea with Dizzy Gillespie. And I was listening to it as a friend of mine brought the little Betamax, those little VHS that we had at that time.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what I was listening to, and I became very curious to know about it. With the support of my father, I came to the US in 1987 and went to
Mm.
school in Philadelphia and New York. And that was the beginning, Sonny. That was the whole beginning. And here I am after 40 years later in the US with the
Yeah.
married to the music.
That's beautiful. So I think what's really unique about that story is that it sort of chose you. I love what you use in language of like it chose you, and us as creatives, we become just the recipient of this, and we're able to take it forward. So I love that idea of music choosing you. But it also seemed like what you were delving a little bit into was that because of the geography and because of your father, the access you had was not just to one type of sound, it was to many different influences that allowed you to experiment and really expand your mind. Um, that's a really powerful thing. I'm curious, as you created music and then the Nagual Spirits Ensemble here, did that knowledge that you had from back home when you immigrated here, did that all build into the creation of your ensemble that you're going to be performing with in March?
Uh, well, I think that, and you probably will agree with me on this, I think that the experiences that we go through in
Yeah.
life, all kinds of experiences, they reflect in your music.
Mm.
So these beginnings to the point that I'm here, all the influence of everything that I grew up with, plus
Yeah.
come to America and study jazz music and do transcriptions of jazz solos and understand the harmony and the progressions, all that made up what is Nahual Spirits today. Yes,
Mm.
I would say I brought that to the table as the main experience and the main vocabulary to be used in this music.
Yeah.
Yes, definitely is based on that. Yes.
Yeah. And then can you tell us a little bit more about On Different Paths, the piece that you are creating, and that you won this commissioning for Performing Arts Houston?
Yeah, initially on different paths was a proposal that I did to the Guggenheim Foundation,
Okay.
where I uh, tried to explain them that I wanted to mix classical elements
Mm.
classical instrumentation and classical influence on the Baroque times,
Yeah.
with jazz instrumentation and with Afro-Caribbean rhythms.
Hmm.
So that was the initial proposal, which I later was lucky enough to be a recipient of it. I won the grant, so I was able to. I had to deliver all this proposal, because you do the proposal first in your mind,
Right, right.
and then when I got the letter saying that I won it, I had like 8 months to release the music. So I immersed myself
Huge
in.
congratulations, though.
Thank you. Yeah, I
Yeah.
immersed myself into fulfilling this proposal. And
Yeah.
it's incredible how I feel like in my artistic career, this
Hmm.
proposal is the one that made me grow. I
Mm.
wouldn't say the most, but I would say it made me grow on a different direction.
Yeah.
As you, as a musician, you know that during the creative process, there is something in the artist that I think we go through that creation process that we don't obtain that anywhere else.
Hmm.
You don't find that anywhere else in life, I think. I
Yeah.
think the creation process offers you something as a person that you go through that creation process that is beautiful, and is we grow
Yeah.
as and we evolve. And I don't think any other career in the planet offers that. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. I think there's one side of when you were creating that's musical, which is the anatomy of what that piece will look like, and creation of the rhythm or the melodies and the silence in between. And then the other side is the people. And I think that the interaction with the people, the musicians, the presenters, all that also adds to this experience. And part of that, I think, is what makes um, pieces very unique, such as yours, because I know one of the things that you're grounding on different paths to, I think, is the city of Houston and the experiences that the city has had in the last many years, and the divisions that have been caused, and what you are saying through that piece. So it's, you know, uh, I think it's both. It's like what the music is going to say, and sort of the, what note is going to be where, but also how the people and the experiences of these people will come to the stage to tell a story.
Uh, it's very interesting when you bring a musician to interpret your piece,
Mm.
because then he has to bring something to offer also
Mm.
to that.
Yeah, yeah,
He
that's
not only
beautiful.
has to be a great musician with the notes, but I'm
Yeah,
expecting him to bring something to the plate. Bring something here. I don't expect you just to read the notes
yeah,
perfect, no? But I want to hear, what do you have to offer?
yeah,
I think that's part of the artistry of a band as a whole. What do you have to offer to this? Tell me now, you know, during
yeah,
the during the music. So that's what I go. That's what I strive for. And I
yeah.
think as they offer something and they bring something to that moment, that's the magic of the creation, the
Mm.
moment of the creation at that point. Now we're going beyond the creative process of the piece. Now we're going to the performance, where
Mm.
each musician brings their own
Self.
product or their own feeling to
Yeah,
that composition.
yeah, yeah. Um, can you tell me? I know you're in the middle of the creation, but what are the sounds that we're going to hear on stage? What are the other instruments that we'll hear on stage? Just whatever you've created thus far, and no pressure if everything else changes by March. That's the beauty of the creative process, right? But what's in your head right now?
Well, at this point, uh, I have to rewrite. I'm gonna explain you something. I have to rewrite the music. I've been rewriting the whole arrangements because the Nahuatl spirits usually use a trumpet and a tenor as
Okay.
horns. Uh, but I didn't want to bring the whole band from New York. I lived in New York for 20 years. So the
Yeah.
whole band is based in New York. That's the band I traveled to different places. But in this case, when I was informed by the Performing Art Houston that they were giving me this opportunity, I say, well, since we are in this city of Houston, supposed to be the most versatile mix
Yeah.
of all kinds of backgrounds and races, I say, it came to my head, I'm going to take advantage of this and put it into the music. So
Mm.
I'm bringing two musicians from New York,
Hmm.
from the Nahuatl Spirits, which is the percussionist and the bassist, because I really need them to be there for me on the drum set for those rhythms,
Yeah.
because they've been doing it with me for over 30 years, these two guys.
Wow.
Uh, and then I say, now we're going to put an element of Houston here. We're going to mix, and I'm bringing two horn players that are from Houston.
Oh, beautiful.
Ernesto Vega and David Cáceres were very, very much very talented musicians here in Houston, and also the piano player. I'm going to bring it from Houston. So we're mixing up now musicians from New York and Houston.
Yeah.
The sound is going to change. Definitely, the
Hmm.
sound is going to change. But I'm very curious to see what's that going to sound also like. To change the trumpet and the tenor by an alto saxophone and a tenor saxophone.
Yeah.
So that's changing the sound already, but I love the fact that I'm mixing musicians from New York and Houston for this project, Performing Arts Houston.
That's really powerful. I think, especially as you think about, sound changes. They say as if you were to travel on road, sound changes every, couple hundred miles and stuff. So like, I can just, I'm excited to hear what changes will be, and you as a creator, what you think the changes will be from the original arrangement to what you're creating. One of the things that I would love to understand a little bit more is that if I understand what you're going to present is going to be in movement, um, and yet it's going to be holistic in the piece itself. So, what separates these movements, and how does somebody who's creating find the sequence to be perfect that one builds to the next and the next and then the finale?
Wow, Sonny. Now you're getting into some complexity here. I think there is a little bit of mysticism on this,
Yeah,
to be
yeah,
honest.
yeah.
Eh, I try to represent different stories, and the
Mm,
stories are based on my emotions as an
mm,
artist. And each movement has a different story,
yeah,
and of course, different emotions.
yeah.
So the movement has to logically move. When I say logically, I say in theory, it has to move
Hmm.
or evolve to the next movement.
Hmm.
Eh, At performing at Houston's concert at the Colin Theater, I might not follow, I don't know yet, I'm thinking about this. I might not follow the sequence yet.
Yeah,
I'm going to use all the movements, but I might not follow the sequence that I recorded on the record.
mm,
I want to tell you why.
yeah.
I didn't want to offer the same repertoire on both nights.
Okay.
We're doing two nights.
Yeah,
And I wanted to take advantage of this opportunity to
yeah.
expose the most amount of music that I could. So I
Sure.
didn't want to offer the same repertoire on the 6 and the 7. You see what I'm saying? I want to cover more music that is on the album. So that's what I might not follow that sequence. That's the only reason. But I'd be able
Yeah.
to perform more music. I don't want to do the same music both nights.
But it's almost like audiences should buy tickets for both nights if you're presenting new stuff, you know? So yeah,
Exactly. That was one of
yeah,
my
yeah,
goals also. I don't want to play the same thing both nights because
yeah, yeah.
I want to be that element of surprise that the guy who went on the 6 didn't listen to what the people who went on the 7 is going to listen. You know, but
Yeah,
they both very strong repertoires. Like I
yeah,
said, I might not follow the sequence, but I'm gonna cover all the movements of the piece. Yes.
yeah. Well, this is sounding really, really exciting. My last question to you is, we're talking about audiences and what they'll receive. So, in your eyes, in your heart, as a creator, what do you want audiences to leave with on the 6th and the 7th?
Well, this uh, on this music,
Hmm.
I dedicated a lot of music to family and friends who have departed already from my life. My father, my daughter, certain people. So it has a big emotional impact on the composition. And I hope I can also make an impact on them, on the audience, emotionally, so I can create a night for them to remember, remember in a positive way of life, people who left us. What do we expect nowadays in this society? What do we want to accomplish nowadays when I think we're lacking that sense of union in the society and togetherness? And that was my main purpose when I wrote this music. Blend these different elements to create a feeling of togetherness. And I hope to make the same impact in the diverse audience that we're going to have. That's my
Yeah,
main, yeah.
yeah. It looks like that diversity is also on stage, right? I mean, geographical diversity from New York to Houston musicians, from sounds. So the sound will carry into the hearts of the audiences from your creation, it seems like.
Well, the diversity on stage is very big. Let me tell you right now, because
Yeah, yeah, please share.
David Cáceres has a Mexican background.
Hmm.
I think he was born in Houston, but parents are Mexicans. Ernesto Vega on tenor comes from Cuba,
Mm.
born and raised in Cuba. Roberto Quintero on percussion is been my percussionist for the past 30 years. He's from Venezuela,
Mm.
a well-rounded percussionist of different styles. The bass player, also been with me for 30 years, believe it or not, is from Russia,
Oh.
Moscow,
Mm.
and a very talented person. He immersed himself into the Afro-Caribbean rhythms, and he has a deep understanding of it. And the piano player, Jose Miguel Yamal, is from Chile.
Mm.
So I'm looking forward to the elements of this diversity to the final sound, final product. And I think that's one of the beauties that music offers us.
Yeah.
And you probably know this better than me with
No,
your
no, you're right.
so,
Yeah. It's just, we hear this a lot that music is a universal language and it transcends boundaries. But it's really beautiful to be able to see it on stage. And it looks like in March, through your work, we'll be able to see it on stage. So I just want to thank you for the work that you're about to create, the award that you've won previously for this arrangement, but also this new avatar that we will see in March through Performing Arts Houston. So just a huge congratulations, Marlon.
thank you very much, Sonny, for your compliments and excellent questions. It's my pleasure to be here sharing with you. My respects to you, and thank you very much for all your questions and interview. Thank you.
Thank you.